Hey everybody, it's Secret Agent Zachary of Samson Boston Parcher. Welcome to talk about Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. So, what I like about George Pickens and Kenny Pickett is that these two teammates are very, very good. I like how that I'm seeing them get the ball a lot. But however, Kenny Pickett and George Pickens are like a formula, how the way I look at it. And it's this tiny thing that the Steelers could do this year, is that they can combine Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, Pat Freiermuth. I have to say this, Pat Freiermuth, really, really great tight end. No, really, he is actually. Connor Hayward, I like him actually. Connor Hayward is like a person that can clutch left and right for this year, for 2022 this season. I'm very impressed actually. He caught his first NFL touchdown this year against the Falcons. But there's one thing I just want to say actually that would be very interesting for Pittsburgh's future. I liked how that they got Kenny Pickett in the draft, which I wanted them to go after exactly. And then George Pickens, very, very nice. And then there was another wide receiver that the Steelers got in the draft this year. His name is Calvin Austin. He's out for the season. I just don't know, because he's out for the season with a weird knee injury, I think, but I think we'll see him back next year, depending what he's going to do for the Steelers. And then later on, I want to see more. Let's see. I want to see more George Pickens and Kenny Pickett the most, along with Pat Freiermuth, if the Steelers can continue that. And then there's one more combination the Steelers might pull off for next year, is that during the 2023 NFL draft, they should recommend getting a look at two wide receivers from either USC or Pitt, at Pittsburgh University. They should look at either Jordan Addison or Jared Wayne, because those two could help us get in the mix, and then we'll be a competitor for playoffs for next year for 2023. And not only that, actually, what I discovered is that there's a new era for next year. Now that is, if you guys are curious about the new era, next year, it will be Jacksonville and Pittsburgh, a rival between both of them. Basically, the reason why is that Kenny Pickett and Trevor Lawrence go long back. We've seen these two quarterbacks play each other this season, and they actually got revenge on Trevor Lawrence. But can Kenny Pickett meet up with Trevor Lawrence again next year for 2023 to the 2024 season? That's going to be very interesting to look at for next year. But what I want to see is Kenny Pickett, George Pickens, can be really, really interesting to watch. So I'm very excited for the Steelers' path coming up with these two ideas. Now, it doesn't matter that Kenny Pickett has small hands. To me, he has great hands, and I like him a lot. I followed Kenny Pickett since 2017, ever since he actually got the Pitt. So, yeah. So, what I'm very impressed is that he really knows what he's doing. I like it. And the more and more I think about it, the more interesting that he is. But anyway, though. So, if you guys don't know about this new era for next year, now, like I said, Jacksonville versus Pittsburgh, it's going to be Trevor Lawrence versus... It's going to be Trevor Lawrence versus Kenny Pickett. And it will be like a Tom Brady versus Ben Roethlisberger era, but kind of different. So it's going to be different for next year. So yeah, I'm very excited for that. But the new era will be very interesting to watch. Now, to be honest, I might make plans to go see the Steelers versus Jaguars game next year in Pittsburgh. But to be fair, I don't know when that date will be. I just don't know when that date is going to be. So until I can figure out what the date is, I'm going to try to see what it is for next year when the schedule comes out. So, yeah, we'll see what happens on that day. Now, to be fair, if you want to be realistic about that game for next year, I would say this. If it ends up being a 4:25 game, I might go down for that. Or it depends if it's on a 1 o'clock game. Sure, why not? But the new era will be very interesting to watch for this year, for 2023 to the 2024 season. But as for us right now, Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, I am really outstanding by your plays by Sunday. It's really, really good. I like about it. But what's amazing is that George Pickens and Kenny Pickett are going to be the most interesting contenders for next year. So we'll see what happens. I'm hoping that we would do something for the Steelers and George Pickens, and we'll see what goes on. Now, to be fair, I like it. I see where it's at. The idea is that they can work with the Steelers left and right with Kenny Pickett and George Pickens. So, yeah. Now, what I like about Kenny Pickett and George Pickens, actually, they're really good top competitors. But there's just one thing missing to the Steelers' offense. They have to add something that can help them win more games. Now, it's not all about the running game. It's all about the passing game, about how are we going to get the ball deep. Whoa, that was weird. Sorry about that, I slipped on the ice. So, yeah, what I'm very impressed is that if they can win more games for next year, and if they can win more games for this year as well, we actually might be watching an interest of Kenny Pickett. I mean, yeah, sure, he may look great right now, but he'll be a dominant person in the future, which I am very excited about, actually. So, yeah. Well, I just want to say is that Happy New Year, everybody, and I hope we'll see plays of Kenny Pickett and George Pickens for next year. Go Steelers. I hope to make playoffs this year. If not, then there's always next year. I'm very excited for it. And I hope that we get a really good draft this year for 2023. and we'll see what goes on. If you guys are wondering who I have predicted going to the Super Bowl this year, Minnesota versus Buffalo. To be honest, I want to see Minnesota win the Super Bowl because, to be fair, they haven't won a Super Bowl at all. And I like what they're doing left and right. And Minnesota is really interesting to watch this year. So, yeah. Can't wait to see what the Vikings are going to do this year. It's going to be very interesting to watch the Vikings. I just hope that they don't do anything stupid this year. If they do, that's going to be really annoying. So, we'll see what happens this year for Minnesota. Alright, well, Happy New Year, everybody. We'll see what happens in 2023.